Poultney High School math class, right? So where's Miss Jenkins? The first video didn't turn out so great, so this is take 2. I am behind the camera now. Believe me, it's better that way. So, we're going to just use a laser pointer, and I think it'll work just fine this time. And maybe next time we can get the smart board to cooperate for the next video. So, what you're going to see is that this math that we're going to be learning for the next couple weeks involves a lot of different things. To start with, this new unit involves math, the math of origami. Pretty cool stuff there, huh? We'll get to do some origami. This math also includes things like stuff like the hands of a clock. One of my favorites, that one in the middle. That's the Ministry of Silly Walks, done on a clock. Kind of fun. The next one is, this math includes math that is used in marching bands, their formations, and line dancing. The type of stuff that you do when you line dance is actually mathematically based. And one of my favorites, the great graphic artist M.C. Escher. We'll get to study some of his stuff and actually try and recreate some of his drawings. We'll get to look at more of them in class. It's awesome work. He does it, and he actually carves some of them and makes prints. It's incredible stuff. So we'll get some more looks at M.C. Escher's art, which is based on the math that we're going to be learning. But first, let's start with a puzzler. Have some of the letters of the alphabet, and I'm asking, what do they have in common? Okay, these letters right here. What do they have in common? Now I know you can cheat. This is a video. You can jump ahead. You can scoot it back and know exactly what to do here. So it's not really that crazy of a puzzler here if you're sitting home just watching this on a video. So let's move on. Okay, so the first lesson is talking about taking a shape such as this trapezoid, and I put a little diamond mark on it so it's kind of unique to that corner. And we're going to flip it over this red line here. This red line is known as the line of symmetry. If we flip it over and then mark the new one over here, it's as though we folded the paper, or we used a mirror and just kind of mirrored it over. This is used in a lot of origami, obviously, since I said like you're folding over the paper. The next idea is to turn it around or spin it. So if I spun this trapezoid around a point here near where the diamond is, and I spun it around that point, it would end up on its side here. Of course, this is like using the idea of a pivot point, like the hands on a clock. I'm going to pivot on a point here. And did you know that if I have two shapes that are the same size and the same shape, they are known as congruent? So these two shapes, even though now one is arranged differently, kind of on its side, they are still congruent figures. Now we could take that same trapezoid again, it's popular, and slide it to the right. And then like along the x-axis, slide it to the right along the x-axis, and then slide it down along the y-axis. Oh look, I have a kitty cat chasing the red laser light. So I'm home, and that was Squirt chasing the red laser light. Okay, so these two blue trapezoids are still congruent figures, and in fact in this case, when you slide it over or slide it down, or you could slide it up and slide it left, that sort of thing, they are still actually in their same original position. In this case, they're both upright. But they are in different positions in space, or on the page, or the television, however you want to think about it. This is the type of math that you would use if you were line dancing or in the formations of a marching band. These 3 types of moves are known as transformations, and that's basically what we will be studying over the next couple weeks. Transformations. You ought to learn that word. There are 3 basic kinds of transformations that we will be learning. The reflection transformation is like the one where we flipped it over the red line of symmetry. It's called reflection. It's like putting it in a mirror or folding the paper in half or flipping it over a line of symmetry. The next one is rotation. We're rotating it or spinning it about a single point. We're turning it. That's like the hands on a clock. And translation, sliding it. So we can slide it left or right or an up and down. And that's translation. Okay? Like what you would use in a marching band. We're going to start out with reflection. And so you're going to think about paper folding or flipping the images through a mirror. And then I realized that this slide was extremely boring and kind of reminded me of the whiteboard at school. So, I don't know, I just kind of had to put something else in there. I really like red, fast Ducati. Sorry about that. Distracting there. Had an ADD moment. Anyways, so back to the original problem. Again, what do those letters have in common? Figured it out yet? They don't spell anything. There's nothing like that, like, oh yeah, they're the alphabet, wow. No, nothing like that. Actually, you might have guessed it. It's all that they have a line of symmetry. But that's not all, folks. In fact, not that they just have a line of symmetry, but, wait for it, some of them have 2 lines of symmetry. Okay, I know it wasn't that thrilling, but not that much I can do here. Okay, so I know that you guys might have seen that in my class on my desk. If you were snooping around my desk, you might have seen those show up last week on my desk. I borrowed them from another teacher. So you might be wondering, do we get to use that reflective thingy? Oh, yes, we do. So we'll be using it next week after you watch this video. And so yeah, and stop snooping around my desk. So anyway, that would be the end of the video. And I'll see you in class. And thank you for watching. And hopefully they can only get better from here because I apologize. This one wasn't the best, but we'll do what we can.